You ever notice how sometimes the more you do for a woman, the less she seems to value you? You're thoughtful, available, even protective, yet somehow she starts to pull away. She becomes colder, more distant, and you're left wondering what went wrong. The truth is, it's not about what you did. It's about what you didn't do. You didn't set boundaries. And that's where everything begins to change. Because here's the thing, most men never realize. Women don't just fall for charm, good looks, or confidence. They fall for certainty. The kind of calm, grounded energy that says, I don't need to control you, but I'll never lose myself for you either. When a man carries that energy, it's magnetic. It's the kind of pull that makes her think about you long after you're gone, because deep down she feels something she rarely feels around most men. Safety. Now, you might think boundaries are about pushing her away or acting cold, but in reality, they do the opposite. Boundaries attract, they create tension, mystery, and respect, the foundation of desire. Most men try to win a woman's heart through constant giving, validation, or chasing, but that doesn't build attraction. It builds dependence. A woman doesn't want a man who agrees with everything she says. She wants a man who makes her feel something. And that starts when you calmly say no, where most men would say yes. When you refuse to tolerate disrespect. When you stop explaining yourself for every choice you make. That's when she looks at you differently. That's when she starts wondering, who is this man? Think about it. Have you ever seen how a woman reacts to a man who doesn't chase after her every move? She becomes curious. She texts first. She tries to get his attention again. It's not because he's playing games, it's because he's not afraid of losing her. He's anchored in his own worth. Psychologically, women are drawn to men who can set emotional boundaries because it triggers something primal. The desire to earn his validation rather than be handed it. It's that subtle power shift that keeps her intrigued. And once she feels it, she can't unfeel it. You see, when you have no boundaries, you might think you're showing love. But to her, it often looks like weakness. A woman may not say it out loud, but she loses respect for a man who bends himself to please her. She might even test him, emotionally withdraw, become distant, or say things just to see how you'll react. Not because she's cruel, but because she's trying to feel something real from you. She's subconsciously testing to see if your emotions are stronger than hers. If you can be the calm in her chaos, and when you pass that test, when you stand firm with grace instead of fear, something changes inside her. She starts to feel safe. She starts to trust you, and most importantly, when she starts to desire you. In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 boundaries that instantly make a man more attractive in a woman's eyes. These aren't about being controlling or manipulative. They're about self-respect, emotional discipline, and understanding female psychology on a deeper level. Because when you set these boundaries, you don't have to chase her attention. She gives it to you freely. You don't have to beg for respect. She offers it naturally. And the more you hold your ground, the more she leans in, drawn to the man who refuses to lose himself for her approval. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why women crave boundaries, even if they never admit it. You'll see how those 5 lines you draw, calmly, firmly, and without ego, can shift the entire dynamic in your favor. But before we dive into them, I want you to remember this. Attraction isn't built through effort. It's built through energy. The energy of a man who knows where he stands. The man who doesn't chase validation, but commands respect through quiet confidence. That's the kind of man who doesn't just get attention, he keeps it. The first boundary that instantly makes a woman think about you, even when she tries not to, is emotional control. Most men don't realize that women are constantly reading your emotions. They don't listen to your words as much as they watch your reactions. When she pulls away, gets moody, or tests you with sarcasm, she's subconsciously checking your emotional stability. She wants to see if your world shakes when hers does. The moment you react with frustration, anxiety, or desperation, she feels it, and her attraction fades. Not because she's trying to punish you, but because emotional control signals strength. It shows her you can handle pressure, and that's deeply attractive on a psychological level. When you stay calm instead of chasing after reassurance, she starts to question her own emotions. She begins to think, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he trying to fix it? That curiosity turns into desire because, to a woman, a man who stays composed under emotional tension feels safe and mysterious at the same time. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about maintaining emotional balance. You can still care, still be loving, but without letting her mood dictate your peace. That's the first real boundary. You control your emotions, not the situation or the woman. Now, the second boundary is time. You'd be shocked how many men destroy attraction by giving their time away too easily. They drop everything to reply instantly, to see her whenever she wants, to make themselves overly available. But here's the paradox. The more available you are, the less valuable your presence becomes. When a woman knows that your time is selective, she automatically respects it more. Time is your most powerful currency, and when you give it too freely, it loses meaning. Women are drawn to men who are busy with purpose, who have their own life, goals, and rhythm. It signals that you're not waiting for her to complete your world, you already have one. There's a moment that every man faces. She texts, "Hey, can you talk right now?" Even though you're busy. Most guys stop what they're doing immediately. But when you politely say, "Can't talk right now, I'll call you later," it hits differently. That small boundary shows confidence. It shows that your time matters. She might act a little cold at first, but trust me. Later, when you text back on your own terms, she feels something powerful, respect. Women want to feel like they've earned your attention, not like they own it. When you set this kind of boundary, she doesn't just notice, she remembers. Then there's the third boundary, your self-respect during conflict. Every relationship, every connection will have moments of tension. Maybe she's upset, maybe she throws emotional jabs or tries to guilt trip you. Most men react out of fear. Fear of losing her, fear of confrontation, fear of silence. But when you stand your ground calmly, when you refuse to engage in emotional chaos, that's when she truly sees your strength. Walking away when a conversation turns disrespectful doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful. It sends a signal that says, "My peace matters more than your approval." Here's something most men don't understand. Women don't remember every word you say, but they remember how you made them feel. When you argue from a place of emotion, you lose control of that energy. But when you calmly set a line and step back, it leaves an impression she can't shake. She may not admit it, but she'll think about it later. I'll work. Because deep down, she knows she crossed a line, and you didn't chase her to fix it. That contrast, your calm versus her emotional storm, builds attraction in a way no compliment ever could. These first three boundaries, emotional control, time value, and conflict discipline, create the foundation for what women crave most: respect blended with desire. Once she feels that balance from you, her entire perception changes. You go from just another nice guy to the man who commands her emotional attention. She starts to miss your energy even when she's with you. She starts to respect your silence more than another man's words. And most importantly, she starts to trust your leadership emotionally and psychologically. But here's the twist. The next two boundaries are where everything truly shifts. These are the ones that separate men she likes from men she can't stop thinking about. The ones that create obsession, not through manipulation, but through masculine presence. Because once you master them, you'll notice how differently women treat you, speak to you, and even look at you. The fourth boundary, and this one changes everything, is how you handle validation. Most men don't even realize how much of their behavior is designed around getting validation from women. You might not say it out loud, but deep down, you feel better when she compliments you, when she texts first, when she flirts, or even when she looks at you with admiration. It feeds your ego. And the moment you depend on that external approval, you lose silent power. See, women can sense it immediately. The subtle way you over-explain yourself, try to impress her, or agree just to stay in her good graces. It's not always words, it's energy. And when that energy screams, "I need your approval," she subconsciously steps back. The men who truly stand out, the ones women can't forget, don't chase validation, they create it. When you operate from a place of self-worth, your behavior changes naturally. You don't overgive to earn love. You don't respond to every emotional wave. You give, speak, and act because it aligns with your standards, not because you're hoping she'll like you more for it. And here's the interesting part. When you stop craving her validation, she starts craving yours. That's when she begins doing the little things. Fixing her hair when she sees you, trying harder to keep your attention, subtly testing your reactions. It's a shift in polarity. Your inner calm becomes magnetic because you're no longer emotionally dependent on her response. Think about it. A man who doesn't need to be constantly reassured is rare. Women feel it instantly. It's like emotional gravity. When she can't figure out if you're impressed by her or not, she starts to earn it. That's female psychology 101. The less validation she can read from you, the more she seeks it. But this only works when it's real. Not when you're pretending to be detached while secretly overthinking her every move. True detachment isn't about playing cold, it's about being at peace within yourself. That's the masculine calm that makes her fall, even when she tries not to. Now, the fifth boundary, the one that transforms attraction into deep emotional respect, is about how you handle space. Women are emotional creatures. They crave closeness, but paradoxically, they fall for men who know how to create healthy distance. Not absence. Distance. The difference is emotional control. Absence is disappearing out of fear or anger. Distance is giving space out of strength and awareness. When she senses that you're not always available, that you can pull back when things get too heavy, that you protect your energy, she respects you more deeply than any words could ever express. There's a moment every high-value man experiences. She says, "You're acting different lately," or "You seem distant." What she's really saying is, "You're not chasing me like before, and it's making me feel something I can't control." That's attraction being reignited through mystery. When you stop feeding her with constant reassurance, she starts to miss your energy. When you stop chasing validation, she starts looking for ways to earn it again. Space creates longing, and longing is the seed of desire. But here's the truth most men avoid. Maintaining that balance takes emotional maturity. It's not easy to stay centered when she tests you, pulls away, or questions your boundaries. It's tempting to react, to explain, to argue, to prove your worth. But that's exactly where your discipline is tested. When you stand your ground with quiet confidence, you're showing her something rare. A man who respects himself enough not to beg for love. That's the kind of man women don't forget. Every one of these 5 boundaries works together like layers. Emotional control earns her trust. Valuing your time earns her respect. Standing tall in conflict earns her admiration. Detaching from validation earns her curiosity. And mastering space earns her desire. Together, they form the essence of true masculine presence. The energy that doesn't chase, doesn't beg, and doesn't break. It simply is. And when you embody that, you'll notice something magical. She'll start showing up differently. Her tone softens, her respect deepens, and her attraction intensifies without you saying a word. She'll think about you more. She'll replay your calm reactions in her head. She'll wonder what makes you so grounded, so untouchable. That's when you'll realize the secret to making a woman think about you constantly isn't found in words or tactics. It's in your boundaries. Because when you protect your energy, you become the kind of man she can't get out of her mind. Not because you're trying to make her, but because your presence demands it.